You need to go over people's basic needs to get, to get them angry
Exactly.
enough.
If you're considering going online and doing any kind of social media stuff, do it the real way. Don't be afraid.
My favorite company in the world, Meta, let's call them Facebook because that's what they are, is operating what I would classify as a crooked business model.
Boom, boom.
Hello.
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 Boom, should we talk about death today?
What kind of death?
That the internet is dead and that we are floating in the dead internet theory and and the poop, yes, the poop that comes from the LLMs.
Well, I
And
collect
ads,
poop
and paid
daily,
ads, and
but
paid
from the dog.
content.
But I don't want to have a regular discussion about this because obviously you can complain about this for hours. Let's spice
But
this up.
maybe we can say shortly what is that internet theory, if someone doesn't know. I know, didn't hear about it.
Then I think we should definitely use Jarek, who is our walking Wikipedia in that case. Go.
So I'm not sure it's the official theory, but in my opinion, that the internet boils down to the fact that there's a really very little authentic content online these days. On one hand, that's because of the mass advertising push, commercial blogs, guilty, or because of the AI slop. But likewise, it's dead internet because of the bots, fake traffic, spam. So it's bots talking to bots, bots reading ads, and human trying to navigate between pop-ups, clicks, and anything that's useful remaining. That's
So basically, yeah.
theory.
So basically, what you said is simply it's the completely wrong relation between signal and noise. There is way too much noise. There is not enough signal.
It's just noise. We're all drowning in noise.
Okay, so given this information, what would happen? Think about this. If we removed actually all this slop, like day to day, and what would that mean for you as a person, as a consumer, and of course as a business owner?
We would figure it out how shitty people are actually with writing. That's one thing.
For sure that would uncover a lot of communication deficiencies because right now people have a lot of masks, when they write.
Yeah.
We were using Usenet, mailing lists. We were using forums before AI started correcting our grammar, and we made it. We made it till here. We made some amazing stuff without constant spell checkers. So I think we'll be good. I think that's not the problem.
We could, but because of AI, a lot of people who didn't wrote anything before started writing, I think.
Yeah, that's true.
But is it their voice? Is it their voice? Is it their tone? I don't know. I think the problem here is that if you think about some ridiculous today far right or extremist forums like 4chan, it wasn't popular. It wasn't fun in certain aspects. Not because it was long form of polished text. It was just because it was authentic. I mean, it was gutter. It was horrible place in many respects, but it was at least authentic. Imagine a tirade with long-winded invectives now toned down by LLMs. That would be horrible. I mean,
yeah, that's the one thing I'm missing.
Right?
Actually, I'm missing a lot of the swear words. But actually, for me, that would mean something great because I started networking again because I got tired of the noise and AI slop. And when I speak to people face to face, I get full attention, and I can actually use my charm, all the stuff that I really know. I can showcase my brain, my abilities. Charm, but seriously, I think that would be a great thing because that would actually uncover all those fakes. Because unfortunately, I have this feeling that plenty of people that publish these days, they are horrible fakes. I don't know if this is just me having being a pain in the ass or having the pain in the ass, but I have this idea that
But it is. So I know we talk about this bloody AI again and again. But since we started, if you go online and you find content which was heavily peppered by LLMs, its output, it's painfully boring. Just try like finding, or if you're unlucky that you hit one of those fake books on Amazon written by AI, it's so unbelievably boring that you cannot read past first few paragraphs. So I don't
Wait,
think
wait,
that
wait, wait. I have to stop you. The problem is it's boring for us because we are near autistic, crazy people who have this ability to see through this. If you talk to regular people, they don't have this bullshit filter. Not all
I
of them.
I don't I don't think we have to be
Depends.
elitist like this. There is a quite a few studies. I wish I had them linked here that actually did discover that LLM generated content is genuinely uninteresting to people, no matter what background those people have. So I don't think this is a problem. I think the bigger problem is that it's either, I mean, if you look at the early stages of SEO online, well, not, it's not so early, they kind of trickle down even to days. Look for a best product in category. First 100 pages in Google will be listicles, most of which are paid for. Some of them are copy of the same under different domain. They are eerily the same. They were written by people, super boring, by the way, unauthentic and difficult to even believe. I know people believe those because they are kind of ingrained in the way we browse internet for decades now. Who knows what's gonna happen when LLMs stay with us for longer? But I think that the dead internet, the dead content, whether it's for affecting us consumers or businesses, is driven by not just LLMs, but generally a broader understood slop of intentionally producing misleading content, or if not misleading, fulfilling the purpose of filling the pages rather than conveying a
Yeah.
thought.
I think it's not
Paulina,
to the point always because it's majority of the content created by AI. It's long, whatever you could say in one sentence, it says it in 10. And with someone as me who's a bit too ADHD and I'm impatient and I wanna get
Yeah.
to know to the point as fast as possible, I'm going nuts, to be honest.
Yeah.
But yeah.
And you know what it learned the trick? It learned from SEO practices because you had to build long articles, stuff with keywords, because that's how you got to the front page of Google.
yeah.
Obviously,
But
Google changed algorithm back and forth across the years, but I think that the tendency stayed. And someone who trained LLMs, like, okay, more content, more words is better, even if it doesn't add anything. And here we are.
But to be honest, even when I started going freelancing, I ordered copywriter. I think she's great in what she's doing, but I ordered copywriter to write, hey, can you write this so it's visible in SEO and so on.
Mhm.
I
Yeah.
ended up not using it because for me it was too long and too much the same keywords, even if I think what she specialized in technical writing for technical
Mhm.
companies and so on. And I think it's good and great what she's doing. I just didn't feel fully like me.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, I don't want my website with this because it doesn't feel authentic and it's too long and we're going a bit too much into the circles,
Yeah,
in
but
my opinion.
that's you. That
Yeah.
is you. But most businesses don't really care.
Yeah. But
Um,
I also learned later I'm not my target audience from another side. Don't want to talk to another technical people. So here, but that's a different topic.
yeah.
I can tell you that actually, I love the fact that at some point, I was forced to take the video course and started actually writing things. It took me almost 2 years to really get on the level that I actually more or less don't suck that much in writing. And that was the best thing that happened to me because that actually evolved my own communication abilities. And that allows me now to better communicate with those bloody LLMs, to be honest. Um, But from the business perspective, I think if the Slop disappeared, it would be so much better because so much bullshit, I think. Fake recommendations, weird shit would just go away. I wish we could also take out all the influencers, but I don't think this is possible. But what's your opinion about the
What do you mean
business
by
thing?
saying take?
Depends how you define influencer. I got
Just
called,
block the
LinkedIn.
accounts.
I got called LinkedIn influencer a few times. I'm like, what? No, I didn't earn a penny on it.
I think until you start selling course, you're not a LinkedIn influencer, so you're good.
But you can still sell a course and not be a LinkedIn influencer because basically if you are selling your own knowledge, your experience, that's to be honest, that's what I'm trying to do in these days. Yes, but I'm far away from influencers. Nobody's paying me to promote their projects, their products.
No, I'm saying if you're selling courses on LinkedIn, how to increase your following, these kind of, then you're a LinkedIn influencer, right?
Okay. But I think, to be honest, I have this feeling that if the Slop disappeared, the whole communication scene would get just much healthier because a lot of noise would be removed.
Yes and no. From one side, yes, you remove a lot of noise created by AI and people who put, and you get mediocre output from AI, which try to fit as many people as possible. But from another side, so many people say so much bullshit without AI that you replace a bit one with another.
Yeah, but the problem is you remove
LinkedIn was full of crazy people before AI. So
yeah, but now the quantity. That's the problem. This you can start. You remove the quantity because now I think what's discouraging a lot of people, and at some point it discouraged even me, is the quantity. If you want to go through this, if you want to pierce through that noise, I mean that's a lot of energy, and it's not so easy to be visible. Previously, it was enough to just show yourself without clothing or say something completely stupid. These days, that's not enough.
Yeah, and I think that's where we get to the impact on businesses, right? Because the amount of noise and the fact that we are swimming in noise means that if you are running a business and you want to build a brand, means you have to spend an enormous amount of money to cut through the noise. And my favorite company in the world, Meta, let's call them Facebook because that's what they are, is operating what I would classify as a crooked business model. They have an AI slop generation machine, which their CEO endorsed as a welcome addition to Facebook. At the same time, they sell ads. What's the outcome? You have to buy way more ads to cut through the noise generated by the bullshit AI. So you have what was it, sausage Jesus, whatever it was, spamming spamming your feed. And if you want to cut through this, pay more to be visible.
That's the problem. Most people don't realize it, that the casino always wins. The house always wins. And this is exactly the problem, yes?
The only way to win with a casino is not to play.
Yeah. But this is
to go offline.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the problem is...
Show the middle finger to Mark and go somewhere else. Really.
But the problem is, you can't really, realistically, if you want to promote yourself, you want to promote your business, you can't really afford to go off grid unless you have even if you have a local cafe selling some stuff.
You don't have to go barefoot and live in the forest. Nobody says this, right? But there has to be a better way, right? There has to be a better way, and this better way, it might not necessarily come from the business force itself. Although, if you think about it, if we were to start lobbying against content producers and advertising platforms to be in the same, so to say, bed, maybe we get a bit healthier conditions. It should cost to post the AI Slop. It should cost the same amount as it costs to generate ads. If those have crooked, if the incentive is to produce more Slop to charge more ads, then we have a big problem.
Yeah, the problem is, how many of you read the book by Sarah Wynne, I think Williams, Careless People. Which one of you read that book? I did.
Yeah, it's amazing.
I think the
Nope.
problem is
Very
that
frustrating, but amazing.
it's very frustrating. Paulina definitely should read it. The beginning is very boring, but after like page 70 something,
You know how
I
to
was
sell it.
sucked. I was sucked by the book completely.
Yeah.
The problem is that we have the situation that I think that politicians, they took the wrong book as a manual. They took the 1984. They took other books which are very nice to read, but that's like the shitty implementation of the whole idea is instead of taking that book and just fixing the problem. But the thing is, the politicians, they also love meta as a meta is. That was also described in the book. And I think dismounting this is going to be very hard because there is way too much money, way too much dependency with the political world, with power there. And I think the only chance is to get, as we are sitting here, natural people getting pissed off and actually posting more authentic, real content with mistakes, with shiny foreheads, and all that stuff. What do you think?
I don't think we're gonna win this battle this way, because that
Cool. Wait. Paulina?
Don't think we can, unless you have big movement, I don't see any changes coming. But I agree, it's a big symbiosis, They let big companies earn and big companies pay back to the, politicians. I mean, what I mean is that, EU is its other institutions' pockets. I'm not saying that it's politicians themselves. Yeah.
Jarek, can you finish your thought? Just wanted to know exactly what.
yeah, of course. So I agree. I think there is like they are too big to fail, as we used to say in banking, to the point
Classic.
that the grassroots movement has little chance of surviving and being on the winning side. I think the only solution left is scorched earth. We can only hope that Mark and his genius will eventually implode, Meta, Facebook, whatever they call it, with overspending on the bullshit AI that he's producing, and he will collapse and maybe sell off parts of the business. And because of that, will unshackle the social media from slop and advertising. We know that there was a chance of breaking Google into smaller companies. That failed thanks to Donald Trump. We no longer have option to do it, and the EU is too weak to enforce that breakup. So somewhere, somehow, we have to make them break into smaller pieces, because right now, by being a pig and feeding the pig, they are kind of owning the whole stable.
Monopoly.
So there's monopoly on thoughts and words. Effectively, monopoly on thoughts and words.
This episode suddenly got very depressing because, from what I can hear, we have absolutely no chance to deshitify the internet, and basically we're eating our own tail. But
I think that it's not so bad. Also, I think that bad things have to happen for the situation to improve, right? So, by all accounts, obviously, there's a bit of a say it.
yeah, it's the doomsday prophecy. But the problem is because we are IT people, we have different brains. We see problems 2 steps ahead.
Like you need to
I
hit
don't
the
think it's just
bottom to
IT.
get better sometimes, yeah? Like
Yeah. So U.S.
That's
economy
another
is
sense. Yeah.
supposedly on the verge of some shock. Not say collapse because it's too big to just fail, but it's on the verge of shock. If this shock propagates to the way the big tech finances itself, because right now it's most paper money moving between each other, like Nvidia's paying AI companies to buy Nvidia hardware and so on. If this cycle at some point is broken and the VC money suddenly evaporates or moves to something more sustainable or different bubble, who knows? Maybe it's going to be big enough shock to, for example, making sausage Jesus images so expensive to generate that we will stop flooding the feed. And that might break the cycle, make us able to break through the noise. I think that's realistically, in my opinion, this has to happen because we as a as individual
Maybe
consumers, have no way of breaking the cycle.
maybe it's slowly happening. Paulina, you posted something funny today, funny inverted quotes, about the power in Denmark.
Hmm.
That
Come on,
Why do you
shall
find
we
it
move to the
funny?
class?
I think it's not funny at all. It's sarcastic what I said, but it basically shows that it's about to hit the bottom. Yes,
Yeah.
because the fact that you're running out of power and you're basically refusing connecting additional data centers, this means that the thing is going like a weird way.
I mean, you can always look at what's his name, Space Car and Apartheid Clyde, Elon Musk, same person. What did he do? He just bought a city in US, installed gas turbines to power his data center. I think we haven't crossed the threshold where making things worse for people around you is a thing. And those who want to promote the agenda, they will find the tools, they will find the means to do it. So I think we are not there yet. Whether it would fly in Europe, who knows? Go to Brandenburg next to Berlin and tell them that you're going to build 10,000 jobs, but it's going to stink, it's going to be polluting. It's still going to happen. So I don't think we are there yet. I think we're far away from the breaking point. Yes, it's depressing. I know it's depressing.
I
But
think you need to go over people's basic needs to get, to get them
exactly,
angry enough. Because let's be honest, we're getting, as long you are comfortable, as long are people comfortable, like, okay, you can get food, you can transport, you can travel a bit or whatever. Why do they need change? People like, like the same is with being, full-time employed. People like it. You have, money every month on the bank account and so on. I'm not saying it's wrong, but, when people start acting when they have nothing to lose, usually, or when they have to, because they have a wall behind them, yeah? So
you
that's
are
usually
hitting
where
exactly.
people start acting, and that's where the bigger change is happening. If you look into all the revolutions, 89 and some others.
Yeah, but you're tapping.
For revolution.
But she's tapping into the right thing, because I think you have two types of people. You have the ones which are simply happy with what they have, they don't care about the rest, and then you have the other ones that they have enough to survive, but not enough to kind of like realize themselves, and they have different problems on their head, because their problems are like pay the rent, buy the food, pay for some care for the child, whatever it is.
There's a name for this. It's called middle class.
Yeah, but the middle
That's
class is being
even lower, I would
decimated.
say.
Yeah, that's the middle class is being decimated in basically whole Western Europe these days.
It's just differently defined, but it's still there.
It's still there, but it's
thresholds.
dying, to be honest. Okay, but in order not to finish this one so depressing, can you think, each one of you, is there anything you could possibly do within your own scope, with your own power, to try to change this situation? Maybe educate people, maybe do something. What is your plan to actually make this better and the dead internet?
Go barefoot and go to live in the forest.
Go off grid.
Yeah, but
I
that is
know.
pretty selfish. That's pretty selfish.
Yeah.
That's pretty selfish.
Yeah.
Let's give something
Yeah.
back to the society.
I mean, on one hand,
No, overrated.
yeah. On one hand, being authentic and still putting out there a human-generated content without agenda is still probably the only way we can contribute in some meaningful way. Because if everything else requires policy changes, law changes, or significant economic events, which we personally cannot influence.
No, they
That's
are
my opinion.
full of people who basically answer to the hand that feeds them. Paulina, what's your idea?
Authentic and to know. Because people go after you then as well. So, question how much hate you can handle as well sometimes. Opinions.
Yeah.
So, no, it's not for everyone.
Yes,
Yeah.
you. Yeah, of course. I remember this. You've been also blocked in some of the discussions we had together. Uh, that's the problem. Speaking the truth, being authentic means that you're actually putting yourself out there to be criticized, and people very often miss also. Somehow, like we lost the ability to also discuss things without either becoming offended or making a big scene. I still think, as I said in the beginning of this episode, that I'm putting this authentic content of myself and I'm putting myself out there. And sometimes I'm just sharing exactly the thoughts that I have. And I'm getting actually a lot of trouble because of that. Also with the state, also with the local municipality, because sometimes my letters, they're always written by a gentleman, but I'm not bullshitting. I'm asking them for the things the way they are. And this is not welcome somehow. But I'm
Yeah,
actually
people.
trying to do this. I'm trying to be authentic, and just
I think
where's the
people
elephant
don't
in the room?
always like the, being direct. I'm very often judged, oh, you're not smiling enough, you're not approachable, you're to the point, and so on. I'm like, why do I supposed to be super approachable if I know my shit, I'm get doing stuff, I'm saying stuff as they are. What has me smiling or not, or to do with it? You're not my friend, you're not my partner to get
I,
this. So
I wouldn't go that far. Living in not nothing personal with you, Paulina, but by living in Germany, I have experienced so much unfiltered directness, and I genuinely miss a British kind of facade of pleasantry, even if sometimes useless and pointless. It kind of means that you
I
are
think
being mistreated in a polite way, whereas in Germany you're just
I'm not
mistreated and you know you're mistreated.
I'm never say,
Uh,
don't be polite. Always be polite. Because,
Yeah.
never raise the voice and so on. Always being polite. But it's
mm,
not always you have capacity and you're not always depending on the culture. Sure, you go Spain.
mm,
You're going to have people who are over approachable, over talkative and so on.
mm,
Some people love it. You go north. People hate small talk and they're going to say stuff in 2 words. So, of course, know
mm,
your audience and so on. So it's going
yeah.
to vary.
So basically, this was the most depressing episode we had.
It
Uh,
gets worse.
if you're watching this episode, if you're listening to it, please, if you're considering going online and doing any kind of social media stuff, do it the real way. Don't be afraid. Just, if you have a shiny face, go out, do your authentic stuff. Because to be honest, the shit that I consume through social media is heavily filtered and I want to listen to people. The moment I smell there is a tiny bit of AI, out of it. I'm out of it. How about you guys? You have the same bullshit filter? I mean, to be honest, I'm like paranoid.
Depends.
Okay,
Yeah.
depends.
And
Explain
I would
why? Why?
why? Yes. Why,
Why?
Paulina?
Yes, why?
What does
Sometimes
it
it's
What's
just
your
depend
point
funny
on?
there? What?
memes. Funny memes.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, but
that's true.
funny memes. That's a different. I still miss the real
No,
memes, the
I
ones that
mean,
offend you.
if you use it for the grammar and so on, sometimes, yeah, I get it. Some
But
people
that's a
have issues
different
with
thing,
it.
That's a different thing, like helping you with writing, because that's something else. The idea is about, spotting that you're basically
No,
outsourcing
if you
your
only outsourcing
voice.
thoughts and voice and how is it, yeah, I'm out as well because it's too
Mm,
boring. My attention span is too short.
yeah. And I would also go step farther. It's not just LLM. It's not AI. It's a decade old or 2 decades old paid for content, which it just reeks of being paid content. Sorry, it's difficult. Not. I know people. It must work. So let's be honest. It must work. In the grand scheme of things, 2 decades of paid for content proves that it works for majority of people. Uh, for some of us, doesn't. Not because we are better, just because different people have different filters, right? Fair enough.
Think they wanna, hit the majority usually. That's as well. I mean, you have some people who wanna talk to, ICP, target audience, and so on. But you have also a lot of people, yeah, I just wanna be known or for being known, or I just
Yeah.
wanna attention and so on. So
But I think that when we talk about businesses and and kind of trying to put yourself out there and breaking through the noise. If you have a shitty product and you paid 100 blogs to put you on the top of the listicle, and you have a horrible product, that tactic might have worked 20 years ago, where most of the products were bought for a long time.
You are
Today,
not.
today we
Look
buy
at
products for.
Microsoft. Look at Microsoft. That's exactly their strategy.
I'm talking more like the products that let's talk about physical products, right? You look for the
I'm
best
sorry.
DSLR, right?
Yeah.
And then because 20 years ago you bought a camera and it lasted you for 5-10 years. These days it lasts you for 2 years if you're lucky, because then the firmware upgrade breaks it. So the cycle of buying new products, consumers made it so potent to buy new things. If you screw your customers once, they will not come back to you. So rather than investing and overspending on ads, invest in R&D, make your product great again. I don't know.
But that's actually a great topic for the next episode, because
For
I observe
this, I
this a
have
lot in the
actually-
tech. Yes.
Example, like my grandparents had a kitchen robot which survived like 20 years, and I was like, oh, we're gonna get a new one from the same company because it was great. They bought a new one, it survived 2 years, it died. The older one, which has 20 years, still works. No issues, it's just a bit old.
Yeah, but that's the thing, right? Things change, right? And whether it's software, whether it's SaaS, whether it's physical product, we have a much shorter cycle for ownership and buying new things.
Even if it's built from the same company, yeah.
Exactly. So that's why I think that's even more important that your brand is not stained by overhyping it through fake content, fake advertorials. Being authentic, building your brand through loyalty is probably more important now than ever. Because if I have to buy new things next 2 years, I better buy it from you again.
Yeah, that's the long game that very few people, but that some people are still playing. I think that would be the positive way to end this. Thank you very much for today's discussion. I would like to remind everybody that is watching and listening to us that we are still posting real content written by humans. And you can, of course, follow me, Paulina and Jarek on LinkedIn.
I even post drawings, which I make.
Fantastic. And Paulina and me, we're also on Instagram, trying to basically make a difference, basically almost every day. Make sure to subscribe to all of us. Make sure to follow us and subscribe on our YouTube channel. And I really would like to take this planned obsolescence next time.
Yeah.
Obsolescence, yes. And basically have a discussion. And also have a discussion about how much the cloud vendors don't really care about their customers and screw them the way they want, because they know they have them by the balls.
Bye.
That wasn't sensitive.
I say the things how they are.
Mixed gender content audience.
Thank you very much for tonight. See you next time.
Bye.